can't predict when the batteries are going to run out, even when they put in new batteries, you know. They're not super Energizer Duracell Max batteries. They're CVS batteries. That's the way it goes. So anyway, I had planned on leaving, you know. So from Marion, I got, if you're not out of your mom's house by such and such day, I'm going to have you sectioned. I, you know, put in a mental hospital against your will. And from when I know it's cancer, I got, you know, your mom does love you, but she wants you out of her house, and, you know, can you just do this for her, Laura? You know, she's been really good to you and the money, blah blah blah, and meanwhile, nobody understands that my mom's very sick, and while she might be, and the only reason she's telling you she wants me out of the house, she doesn't. Believe me, I'm not an idiot. My mom did not want me to leave her house. She even said, you know, please don't leave me. I'm in this place. Don't leave. Wait till I get out. And I wanted to wait till she got out and make sure she was all right and whatnot. And you have to understand, too, that I was going a little crazy with all of this. I'd already been through all that abuse with Donald and with his mom and everything. And now my mom's sick again. And, you know, I'm not, and I was drinking at the time. You know, I'm not the most, have I ever out here presented myself as the most sane or the most stable or the most, no. But listen to me carefully. My Aunt Marion did all this behind my mother's back. My Aunt Marion was married to a scumbag when I was a little girl. My Aunt Marion, I used to babysit her sons, okay? She was married to a scumbag. She admittedly, I got a letter when I was older, you know, because I was sharing stuff with her and she decided to share something with me that was big, you know, because I was being, you know, honest about blah, 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 whatever, that she was a cokehead for 8 years. My Aunt Marion, her 2 sons are both ex-criminals. One spent a year in jail and one either just got arrested or spent 1 month in jail, maybe not, just arrested or whatever, but one spent a year in jail for drug possession, for, you know what I mean? So we're not dealing, when that's why I get so frustrated with my lawyer friend out here when she's like, well, there's nothing you could do and you're a mental illness, blah, 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 but all the things Marion's done and all this, you know, it should even out, and I should be, my mom should, that should just be made, that power of attorney should be made null and void. This is not a case where I was the bad, awful daughter and the wonderful, pristine, who comes from a wonderful family and has wonderful kids and blah, 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 you know, is just protecting my mother from me. It's not like that. Mary makes it out to be like that, but baby, smoke and mirrors, okay? That is what frustrates me so badly. And that is why I'm working it all in my head and sharing it with you guys and smearing her name, and I've been doing it for years. And so anyway, so all this stuff that my aunt had done to me in 2009, and now I find out in 2010 just how powerful, that my aunt's even more powerful than I realized. Ah, yes, people. Now, if you watch my other videos, you'll know that because of the HIPAA law, this was the 5th time in 11 months Marion had gotten my mother sectioned into a mental hospital. I want to stress, I'm not somebody sitting here and saying, oh, my mom didn't deserve to go in these mental hospitals and my mom was perfectly sane. And no, just like I'm not making myself out to be a saint. I never have. I think that's why some people out here like me, is because I don't make myself out to be a saint. But Marion makes herself out to be a saint, and she's anything but, people. You get it? Oh, God. I can't do it. So hard, so frustrating. So hard, so frustrating. So anyway, 2010. I got that frantic, you know, call from my mom, distressed, all upset, yada, yada, whatever. And when I called back, I'm told that I am not allowed to know where they've sent my mom. This is insane. And then I was calling around. I even talked to the police at one point. But Marion had already gotten to the police, of course. Marion had already gotten to all the police. Marion's dotting all her I's and crossing all her T's when it comes to screwing me over. And I believe it so she can ultimately get everything that my mama has and leave me with zero. That's what I believe, and that's what some of my friends believe. Anybody who's smart and not easily brainwashed and manipulated by Marion's lies and her half-truths and her, I'm just protecting my sister from her daughter. Yeah, whatever. Called the police. Know what they said to me? What they said? Your aunt just wants you to recognize her authority. I'm like, you fucking motherfuckers who believe every word that comes out of that cunt's mouth. Her authority was gotten in an underhanded, unethical manner. The damn power of attorney should be null and void. It's not worth the paper it's printed on. My mom was not made aware at all, let alone fully aware. She didn't know what she was signing. She didn't understand any of it. She didn't know what it meant in terms of anything. Your aunt wants you to recognize her authority over your mama. Oh, you fucking bitch. Oh my God. You wonder where my frustration and anger is coming from? People, it hasn't changed. Do you understand? It's still the same. It's just that now Marion's being kind. Marion probably realizes, she realizes that my mom, I'm here in Massachusetts now, my mom is not going to shut me out of her life. It's easier for Marion to manipulate my mom and brainwash her and blah, blah, blah when I'm 3,000 miles away, not when I'm right here. So Marion figures she'll have me right under my mom's roof, And it'll look like she's being so kind to the, what do you call it? The prodigal daughter? I don't know what you call me. The black sheep daughter, whatever, black sheep of the family. And my mom's always loved me unconditionally. That's why I've always said when I see her treated a certain way, I'm like, I'll bare my teeth like a wild beast to protect her. But you have to understand, can we just forget we were ever mean to each other? There is such bullshit on Marion's part, the things she's done, and she still has all that power over my mom. And we can't forget we were ever mean to each other, you fucking cunt. You caused me to I could have died or worse. You are partly the reason that I am now partly, admittedly, a fucking animal. As in, I am like someone who at all times is waiting to have her claws come out. I'm just like on edge, and Marion's partly responsible for that. Okay? Can we forget we were mean to each other, stupid bitch. Anyway. But Marion realizes, I got here, that my mom is not going to turn me away, and, so, anyway. HIPAA law, found out about the HIPAA law. Don't get to know where my own mother is. She's locked up in some mental hospital somewhere. For all I know, she's dead. That's why it's so frustrating. I just want to, my mom just doesn't get it. My mom just doesn't get it. I trust her. Why, Mom? You didn't before. It's because you forget everything she's done. I'll periodically bring up things, like very gradually, not all at once, not to overwhelm my mother. And she doesn't remember any of it, but I do. And she doesn't. And it's so frustrating. It's just so frustrating. I don't know what to do. And if Marion just is going to get away with this simply because, as my lawyer friend told me, or pseudo friend or whatever, Marion's just going to get away with this because you have to prove your competency, Laura, and you've been diagnosed as mentally ill yourself, and whatever. It just proves the world I live in. Marion gets to do all this. I'm the daughter. She gets to fuck me over, probably will, and of course that's hopefully a long time in the future, and it won't matter, you know, but even now, you know, I mean, Marion has all that power. She put my mother, she has the power now, and she had the power then. Healthcare proxy put my mom in the mental hospital, not tell me where my mother is. When my mom's friends, I called my mom's friends couldn't know. My mom's friends called up Marion, and know what Marion would say to them? If Samantha wants you to know where she is, she'll call you and tell you herself. And hung up, slammed down the phone. So, you think I was just going to accept that? Me, who had never not known where my mother was, and vice versa my entire life. I think I was going to accept that this my half-on, who admittedly hates my guts, who said so in 2009, you know, because I softly, remember, I wasn't taking her bait. I just would listen to her. She would scream and yell at me, and she wanted me to hit her, I'm sure, so she could have me arrested, and I didn't take the bait, because I remember I had Donald's mom in the back of my mind. She would be telling me, you know, just, you know, I just had her in the back of my mind that I knew Miriam was trying to do this, and just stay calm, whatever she says to you. Look at you, you're disgusting, I have a better body at my age than you do at yours, and you think a rock star's in love with your fat ass, and then something about you can't sing. Well, Spotlight Bar people would beg to differ, Marion, and they're gay. They were gay guys, and they're not after trying to get in my pants, and they're not trying to sugar sweet me. If they told me, if they praised my karaoke, some of them, it was because they thought I was good. Believe me. They had no ulterior motives, no reason to. But that's neither here nor there, because you can't sing worth shit, okay? And I'm not saying I'm the best singer, but I'm just saying she said everything under the sun cruel, okay? And I didn't take the bait, and she got right in my face, and she chased me around, and I didn't hit her, because I'd go to jail, and blah, 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 whatever, and, but, you know, now she was gonna prove just how much power she had over me and my mother and everything else, wasn't she? I wasn't allowed to know where my mom was. She wouldn't tell any of my friends, but guess what? I diligently, as in hours a day, every day, I called every mental hospital in Massachusetts. I called my mom's doctors. I called this, I called that, or whatever, blah, 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 whatever, and I finally hit jackpot. There was one person, because I got the runaround from everybody. They can't break the law. They can't break the HIPAA law. They can't tell me if my mother's there or not. They can't tell me anything. And Miriam wasn't going to tell anybody anything about where my mother was. You think I was going to call her up and beg her? Are you kidding me? She would have laughed in my face and hung up the phone on me. She had already canceled my mom's phone. Her plan was for me to call my mom and get a disconnected number and not know where my mom was. I know that's her plan. I'm smart as hell, okay? I am smart as hell, and I can see, I have a sixth sense, and I can see between the lines, because I called my mom's phone, and Marion had immediately disconnected it, immediately. Why do that? My mom's going in the mental hospital, not forever, but whatever. I know why Marion did it. She did it immediately. You could say, oh, she wanted to save whatever money my mom would be paying that month on it, but I know why she did it. She was hoping that I would call to talk to my mom, and I'd have a disconnected phone, and I'd be going nuts. She didn't know, little did she know that I would be the first person my mom called when the police dragged her to that hospital, a regular hospital, and then she was transferred to a mental hospital. I was not allowed to know where she was, because I was told, because of the new HIPAA law, only your aunt has healthcare proxy over your mom. Only your aunt can know where she is. You cannot just call up and find out where she is. Oh my God. So anyway, it wound up being, I hit jackpot. For 10 days, I did not know where my mother was. Didn't know if she was alive or dead. I was going crazy. I was calling everyone, friends, hers, blah, blah, blah. Nobody knew. Marion was not going to tell anybody. Nothing that I could do about it. This has to be a fucking nightmare, huh? This has to be a joke. My mother never even asked you to have this power over her. You deemed yourself as having this power over her, you fucking cunt. My mother never asked you to. My mom just was grateful that her sister was helping her with legal matters, helping her, and, you know, My mom never asked her to have this power over her, but whatever. And I know that for a fact, guys. I know it. Anyway, but once it's, Marion declared she has this power over her, my mom's not going to fight it. She doesn't know any better. She just thinks this is what it is, and it's what I have to accept, which, unfortunately for Marion and her ultimate plans, I refuse to accept it. I refuse to lay down and play dead while you steal my inheritance right out from under me, okay? Potentially. Not saying I know for sure, but all the little intricate details and facts point to that. So I didn't know where my mom was. Finally, I hit pay dirt. Marion had not reached my mom's general practitioner, her regular doctor. Marion had not poisoned him with her lies. He promised me, when I told him the whole story, that he would find out where my mom was, and guess what? They have to tell him he's her doctor. The day he called me back, I don't know if he called me back or his secretary did, but whatever. It might have been him himself. He might have personally called me back. I think he did. Laura, I found out where your mom is. She's at such and such hospital. 10 days I didn't know where my mom was. I just cannot believe it. You'd think, as I've said repeatedly, the way I'm treated, you would think I was some kind of crack addict who breaks into people's homes and I have arrest warrants. You'd think all this stuff, the way I'm being treated by my family. It's shocked some of my friends, my good friends, the way my family's treated me. But they all bow down to Mary and they listen to anything that she says when she weaves her intricate web of lies. One of the lies, of course, was declaring as fraud legitimate charges my mother had made on her own credit cards when I was here visiting my mom. I didn't hold a gun to her head. I didn't hold a gun to my mom's head, guys. Marion wants it to look that way. Can't we forget we're ever mean to each other? So I found out where my mama was, and I got to talk to her. Finally, how you doing, mama? Whatever. And I would periodically talk to her, and she'd cry to me that nobody in the family was visiting her. And I'd feel bad. And then at one point, she was telling me something that they later denied, and I can't prove it because, as you guys know, mentally ill people, when they're in hospitals, locked up in hospitals, you don't know what happens to them. It's their word against staff, against hospital doctors, whatever, and no one believes the mentally ill. Nobody believes the mentally ill. That's just, you can't deny that, people, if you're aware of anything in this world. You're not ignorant, stupid. Nobody believes the mentally ill. They'll say my doctor did such and such, or staff did such and such to me, and they'll be called, they're delusional, they're crazy, it didn't happen. My mom, remember, I had no money. I was on welfare. I certainly didn't have money for a plane ticket. And here's a perfect example of Donald's mom. She would say, you got to go save your mom or whatever, and I'll help you out. And then when push came to shove, she didn't want to help me out. Why'd you say it then? You love to just talk, Hope? You love to, you say, I'll help you out with the plane fare, whatever, you can borrow the money from me, and then when I actually am going to do it, what do you think? You're just talking, but I'll never bother to do it? Whatever. You're never my real friend. I don't know why I tried. Anyway, my mom was telling me that they weren't letting her go outside. That she was just staying in that hospital, and every day, they had where they could go outside for a half hour or whatever, and they were not letting her. Now, they later told me that was a lie. I don't know, because my mom is quote-unquote crazy. Maybe it was a lie, but whatever. When I'm in California, and I'm hearing my poor mom say she's just in that hospital, and none of the family come to visit her, which definitely was true. Because even the nurses, when I got there, confirmed that. But they made excuses. Well, you can't blame family for not, you're the daughter, but they're just the sisters, and you can't really blame them. It's far to travel. Oh, fuck you. They, whatever. Whatever. If you really want to, if you really felt bad for your sister being locked in that place and not having a fucking single visitor, you would go visit her at least once. Am I right? Anyway. This was how it went down. I, of course, yet again was upset with Donald's mom because, don't say it. I wouldn't ask you. God, I'm living there for free. I wouldn't ask you to cover, to let me borrow money. She had money, a little, I could put it on her credit card, let me borrow money to go visit my mom in the mental hospital, when she's saying all this stuff and she's sad, no one's visiting her. You think I want to fly to Massachusetts in wintertime? Are you kidding me? Last fucking thing I want to do, but it's my mother. She's my mother, and she's lonely, and she's sad, and she's no family, no visitors. She feels abandoned in there. And even though I've never experienced that, I have a keen, vivid imagination, and I can put myself into somebody's shoes and empathy, and I just, And I hadn't even read my mom's poem yet, because she didn't write that until September of, oh no, maybe she had written, no, she had written, I did read the poem. It doesn't matter, I can imagine what it's like without her poem. Her poem just cemented it in my mind, okay? She's my mother. She felt like she was abandoned in there, okay? But the thing is, I had no money, and Hope talks big. Hope will say, you gotta, your mom, it's your mother, you gotta go there, I'll lend you the money. And then when push came to shove, she didn't want to do it. That's how she was. You wonder why she drove me crazy. Don't say it. If you're not gonna live up to what you say, why talk out of your ass? Don't say it. It's not $1,000. It's what, $400 for a ticket or something, maybe less, depending on when I would go or whatever. No, round trip, I guess it would have been $400. Sometimes you can get shut-eye or overnight flight. I don't know what they're called. Red-eye flights, and they're cheaper. I'm just saying, she said it. She shouldn't have said it. I would never have asked her in a million years. She was already being so kind to me, but she says it. That's how she was. She would say it, right? And then she'd go back on her word, what she had offered. And then I bring it up. Okay, well, I really am going to do this. I arranged it with my mom's friends. I can stay there with them. And I'm going to go visit my mom. And so, I bring it up with her, and she'd be all defensive and mad, even though she was the one who had originally said it. Understand? I never would say, will you pay for my flight? And then I'd bring up what she had offered, and she'd be mad at me. And I'd feel like I was in the double fucking Twilight Zone. She'd get mad. And then if I would be mad back, I'm like, but you said it. Oh, well, blah, blah, blah. But what? Why even say it at all? Just don't say it. Just keep your fucking mouth shut. All right? Don't get my hope. Okay, so a miracle happened. When I was in my Chad Kroger insanity or whatever, I had money, I had my credit card, I had I guess I wasn't working, I still had money because my mom had given me money. In any case, I had put a flight on my credit card. I was going to fly to some Nickelback concert, and I didn't wind up doing it, but I forgot all about it. And it was through one of those cheap flight tickets or cheapticketflight.com or whatever. And I had a credit that I didn't even know about. It was going to expire soon. I had a round trip flight credit. what are the chances? It was going to expire soon. It was a total chance. It's almost like all these coincidences, you know, but there are people that don't believe anything can be a coincidence. I found a flight credit in my Hotmail, in my email, whatever. And I would have deleted the thing. I opened it for some odd reason. I forget now. I'm sure I wrote it all in my journals, though. I wrote everything, you know. These videos have become my journals. You know, and they're more powerful. And I have them, you know. They're not just on YouTube that can be taken away from me, or MySpace or Facebook that can be taken away from me. I have them safe on my computer and on discs and on CDs and whatever. Most of them. Most of my videos are safe. They're like my live journal. So I found the flight credit. Found the flight credit. It's a miracle. And it was the only chance that I opened it. I think I was going to open something else. I opened it by accident. I'm like, oh my God, I have a $400-something flight credit. I can go and visit my mama. My poor mother. I can't even imagine being locked up in that place and not having your family visit you at all. You feel like you're just abandoned, like you're just... And I've never had it happen to me. I can just imagine. So I did it. I arranged it with my mom's friends. And I got to the airport. They don't have a car. My mom's friends are poor as fucking church mice, you know. But I managed to. I mean, normally when I'm going to visit my mom or someone in family or whatever, then we arrange for me to get the, you know, the shuttle bus and be picked up and all this. No, I had to take the regular bus, whatever. But I managed to get to my mom's friends eventually. Oh, I did it. And I got to that place. Remember, it's all in secret. Marion knew, you know. I don't know if this was... I don't know the timeline. I don't know if she'd found me on... Oh no, that was after. Okay, yeah, that letter was after. I don't know what plan she had or what the deal was. I don't really care. I was going to visit my mama. I had never wanted to come back to Massachusetts at all, except, you know, if under different circumstances, not, you know, these were not the... You think this was a vacation? This wasn't a fucking vacation, people. Came and visited my mama. And I made myself look beautiful. I was heavy. I was still heavy, I think, then. Had I lost any weight? Maybe a little bit of weight, I don't know. Probably wasn't quite as heavy as I was when I last seen my mama, but I was heavy enough. But so what? I'm still statuesque. I'm tall. I'm beautiful in some people's eyes. And I got myself all dolled up. Because I was going to walk into that mental hospital and say, look, this woman hasn't had this poor woman, you think her family doesn't care about her, whatever. My mom had told me about the other mental hospital that she was in when I was here in 2009, my 2009 summer of hell. You know what staff said to her? This was the woman who was supposed to be helping her, supposed to care about her. You know what she says to her? Your family doesn't love you, Samantha. Nobody comes and visits you. They're mean to them in there sometimes. I'm not saying everyone is. You know, it's like there could be good cops and bad cops. There's good mental hospital and nut house staff, and there are bad. Remember, these people are in these places, and there's no checks and balances put on the staff. You know, just like there's no checks and balances. You know, no checks and balances put on Marion. She can do whatever she wants, but... Anyway, that's what happened, and I knew that this mental hospital, this staff here, was just thinking, this mentally ill woman, no one visits her, blah, blah, blah. I walked in looking like the Hollywood starlet. Might not have been as skinny as Hollywood starlets, but I was standing over 6 feet tall in my heels, my pump heel, my wedgie heels and wearing a nice pink skirt that wasn't like mini, like a hooker kind of skirt, but it came down to here, and my nice top with it. And that's what I looked like when I had first met Donald's mom's friend's 80-year-old brother. Was actually still kind of hot in his 80s, believe it or not. He's very dapper. He's 80. Shockingly enough. And he met me for the first time because they invited me to go to Thanksgiving with them. It was their friends, and I knew the friend, the Pope's friends. I knew him, and I didn't know his brother, but whatever. And he called me beautiful. I mean, so people thought I was beautiful even when I was heavier, than I am now. Almost, 70 pounds heavier, more or less, 60 pounds heavier. Anyway, I walked into that place, and their eyes dropped. I mean, their jaws dropped. I know that, I looked incredible, and I was pissed off what my mom had been saying to me, how they weren't letting her go outside, and blah, 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 whatever, and, while I was in there, I wound up finding out something, too. She wasn't... Something about, she didn't tell them that she needed glasses, and she wasn't wearing glasses. She didn't want to ask for help. She couldn't see the food, and they told me something like, your mom is not taking the right tray, or blah, 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 whatever. And because I'm smart, you guys, people think I'm not, or idiots themselves. I figured it out. I'm a detective, and I wound up telling the staff, I found out because I walked with my mom up to get her tray, and she couldn't see what she was doing. I said, and I got it out of her, she can't see because she doesn't have glasses. She needs help. She needs you to pick out her tray. So at least I knew once I left that would at least be taken care of. Now they would know she needed help picking out the right tray, because they told me she was being obstinate and she wouldn't eat or whatever. It's because she couldn't see her name, and it was something, you're in that place and you feel like even the smallest dignities, are taken away from you. But anyway, I walked in, I looked incredible. I knew I looked incredible. I made myself look incredible. Heels and the short, tight, nice figure flat skirt, and I looked nice. I didn't look hooker nice or club nice. I looked good, and I was very, confident, and I said this, that, whatever. And I'm sure they were blown away because no one had come to visit my mom in nearly a month. Nobody had come to visit her. And in walks her blonde bombshell daughter, I did it on purpose. I did it so I could say, look, you think this woman's just some mentally ill, discarded, and her family doesn't care about her, blah, blah, blah. Look at her daughter is. I walked in. She didn't know I was coming. I walked in. First, when she saw me, arms out, my gut sank. Her first words out of her mouth, Laura, you came to get me out of here. Or she might have said, did you come? Are you here to get me out? Whatever she said, she'd been in there almost a month and had no visitors, and it had to be a secret I was coming. I couldn't risk her telling a soul. I came in secret. Didn't even tell her I was coming. Didn't tell a soul. Surprised her. Surprised that place. Assholes later tattled on me and told Marion I was there. Of course they did. They're all in cahoots, Okay, so, you're here to get me out of here? No, sorry, Mom, I'm just here for a visit. I don't have that power. Only Marion has that power. didn't want to start tearing up and ruin my makeup. Remember, I was all dolled up. You guys rarely see me like that. I don't do that. I haven't done that in... how long now? Has it been since I put on a full face of makeup? Over a year, I guess. Over a year. Yeah. Anyway, Laura, you here to get me out of here? No, Mom, sorry. I'm just here to, here for a visit. Only Marion has that power to get you out. Sorry, Mama. At least I came to visit. So we sat down in a little room. Of course, I had some people around me, you know, they don't get the 6-foot gorgeous blonde every day of the week in those mental hospitals, you know. Sorry to seem arrogant, but I really don't care. The things I'm discussing, the way I've been treated by so many, you know, not by so many people, because there's billions of people in the world, but you know what I mean, by people around me, people that, you know, I looked really good, and I was there to visit my mama in secret, and I'm sure Marion got the shock of a lifetime when she found out. I'm sure she was fucking shitting in her pants. It didn't look good. You guys know that, right? I don't know what just fell, but do you realize it doesn't look good when nobody in the family visited this woman, yet her daughter flew 3,000 miles away to visit her? It doesn't look good. Fucks up Marion's plans to make me look like I'm only after my mom's money and don't care about her and blah, 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 whatever, like she tells my mom. Used to tell my mom. My mom didn't listen. Thankfully so. So Marion's goal is for me to have nothing. Nothing. She wants to take away the only thing I have. That's the bottom line. She would tell my mom all the time, you know, my mom would tell me, Marion says to me, Laura doesn't love you, she's only after your money, and so whatever. She tried to turn my mom against me all the time. One of the things she said to my mom, and my mom was cool. She's like, so what? I don't care. Lots of people think that, you know, think that about themselves. Leah's crazy. She thinks she's Marilyn Monroe's reincarnation. Oh, whatever. Whatever, Marion. You're such a whatever, you know. Who cares what I think? That's what my mom said. My mom didn't care. She's like, so what? Cares what Laura thinks. Other people think they're Marilyn Monroe's reincarnation too, and I don't even think that, you know. I don't think anything. I don't, you know. It's just all a joke to me. Life's a joke. But anyway, Marion said that. Marion's just upset. My mom would even say, you know, Marion's jealous of you. And that's what my mom believes. Marion would never admit it, but people who are jealous of other people would never admit it anyway. So who knows? I really don't care. In light of that, I just care that she has all this power over my mom, and I can't get my mom to understand the dangers of her Marion having all this power over my mom. So my mom and I hung out at the mental hospital. I haven't made friends in there. I made friends. I can make friends with anybody. You know, in that situation, I'm just not good in social situations, or, you know, I can't just party, go up to someone, talk, whatever. In the mental hospital, I mean, I made some friends in there, and they were talking about their problems or whatever. And my mom and I talked, and we're sitting at the little table, and all of a sudden, you know, you think these mentally ill don't know what's happening to them. My mom, this might have been the second time I visited her, not the first. The second time I went to visit her, she was slurring her words. I was so upset she couldn't even speak. And she was able to, through her slurred words, say, they're treating me like I'm a human guinea pig. I wanted to fucking scream. Am I home myself? mom's not home this early, guys. I'm not home this early. What are you barking at? Put the shades down. What are you barking at, guys? I know my mom's not home at 8 o'clock. She just left at 6:30 and she didn't even get there. She's not going to be home till like 11. My mom's not home. And the dogs are just barking at whatever. Anyway, I'm like, it can't be that long. I haven't been creating videos for hours. Oh, so I visited my mom in the mental hospital. I snuck. It was all weird crap, you know, because what are the chances I even had that flight credit? I never would have been able to visit my mom. So I visited my mama. I was staying with her friends. They let me stay. I periodically visited my mama. Second time I visited her, I was very upset because she was slurring her words. And she had been there in almost a month, and supposedly in those places they really severely medicate you in the beginning, and then this was to adjust your medication. They couldn't get her medication right or whatever. It was too strong, and I wound up having some words with her psychiatrist, and that might be why they reported me to Mary, and I was causing trouble, verbal trouble, making waves, and not one liking how my mom was treated, and this, that, what have you. Funny thing is, I come to visit my mother. Remember, no one's visited her in the family in a month. And guess what happened? Suddenly, I came to visit my mama. And suddenly, Marion winds up visiting my mother. And then Marion gets my mama out of there. Although, I don't know what was going on. I'm the type that I just think, you know, I think of all angles, and I don't know what Marion's plans were. I really don't. But what I do know is this. That place wound up keeping my mother longer than her insurance would pay for. And then had the nerve to send her a $5,000 bill that she said, fuck you, I'm not paying this. You shouldn't have kept me so long. I don't know what was going on. I know that no one visited my mom in a month. Her insurance would only cover it for that time. They kept her longer, and this was to know better not to do that. I don't know. For all I know is if I don't know, I'm able to think. I watch TV movies of the week. I see things. I hear things. I read things. I don't know if Marion had some ultimate plan. I don't want to believe that she was going to leave my mother in there. But I'll tell you this much. I'll end this video with this. The very day that I showed up, remember, Mary didn't know I was there. I snuck. This was all secret. Like I was an undercover agent. I got that flight credit. It was a miracle, since Donald's mom had made big promises, and then push came to shove, she didn't want to lend me the money, flight money, and she certainly had it, you know. She wasn't rich by any means, but she could have put it on her credit card, you know. She loves my mom so much, as she professed, and you need to go there, yeah, but you... So anyway, when I arrived, they were all dolled up, right? All dolled up and looking good, and my mom, you know, you think this woman's just mentally ill. Look what she has for a daughter, and I care about her, and I stayed with her for hours. I stayed with her for as long as I could, I guess, whatever visiting hours were that day, you know. I wasn't just there for 10 minutes. I was there for hours, if I recall. And then I came a couple days later, and whatever. But the first day, my mom's saying this, that, and what to me, you know, telling me what had happened, and yeah, whatever she could talk about, and we even sang together. She likes to sing, so I sang with her. We sang. She had a book of songs. They give you a book because they have you do things in those places, you know, and she had a book of lyrics, and we sang. We did whatever. We sang together. I sang the book. If I knew the song, you know, if I knew the song in the book, I sang it with her. I sang it to her. If she didn't know it, I sang to her. I sang to my mama. I was feeling so bad for her. I don't know if that was the first day or the second day. It might have been. I might have been singing to her when I was all upset because she was slurring her words and couldn't even talk, and that pissed me off to no end. I'm like, you've drugged her up so bad she can't even talk. She's drooling all over herself. She's slurring her fucking words. I sang to her. I even sang Nickelback, even though it hurt me. I didn't want to sing Nickelback because, you know, I didn't want to sing Nickelback. At this point, I still hadn't found out. I would find out in a few days later that he had that girlfriend the entire time, but at this point I just didn't understand why he was ignoring me. And I didn't want to sing Nickelback, but I did because my mom liked Nickelback. I turned her on to Nickelback. So I even sang Nickelback.